when I saw then Lewis, I think it was his 100th race win, then it just made me feel even worse. Like, just gave him his 100th race win. I've not even got one.
The driver that's been dominant as you've grown up in the sport watching it is somebody that's now a rival. Yeah. So how do you mentally get beyond seeing somebody that might have been a hero 5 years ago to now be somebody that you want to topple?
It's a tricky one, because the first few times I really began to, or I had a chance to race him, were like Austria, you would say Russia a little bit, kind of, can I keep a 7-time world champion behind me? These kind of things, which like they do play in your mind a little bit.
And were you thinking that, can I keep a 7-time world champion, or were you thinking, can I be the guy driving that car?
Yeah, because like at that time I'm not necessarily thinking exactly those words.
Yeah.
But the thinking, I'm like, I'm going around and you're just on the straight, you're thinking, all right, like, what is he going to try and do now? Like, what has he understood, or what's he learned over the last, 20 years that he's going to try and outsmart me on? Is it the battery? Is it the tires? Is it the engine mode? Is he going to try and like pull back to make me feel like I'm comfortable, and then pounce and then have a go? And like, all of these things playing in my head. What's he going to try and outsmart me on? Yeah, those things definitely play on your mind a little bit, on especially like we spoke about the experience side of it. There's something he's going to be more experienced than me on. I just need to be ready to anticipate what that might be. I might know it, I might not, but I just got to be ready for those kind of things. So once you then go through that little feeling you have and those thoughts, and you have an outcome, the outcome of the race obviously was not a good one. We should have won and we didn't. But the outcome of, I managed to hold him off for as long as I could, and he didn't just cruise past me. It wasn't like I made a mistake and he came past me. He didn't outsmart me. Then it just gives you a little bit more confidence, like, well, you didn't actually do anything out of this world and do something which I wasn't expecting or anything, And it was the same in Austria. Like, there wasn't something, he just did that extra mile, which I was just like, wow, that's unbelievable. I covered the basics. There are smaller things which I need to be prepared for, but these things give you a big confidence booster once you achieve them. And it's just because you kind of overthink it sometimes. It's easy to overthink things, and that's when it can get much trickier than it needs to be.
We've almost reached the end where we do our quick-fire questions.
Okay.
Before we get there, like, I just get this overriding sense that this would have seemed like such an alien environment when you first walked in, and I'm sure the imposter syndrome was strong, and you would have thought of all those McLaren drivers over the years, and the more we've spoken, the more comfortable you seem about being a Formula One driver behind the wheel. How comfy are you as a Formula One driver, as a public figure? I mean, I'm thinking the relationship with the press, or the scrutiny, not necessarily criticism, because I see just positivity about you, but I see a lot of scrutiny. A photo goes up with you and a young lady, and I see your name trending on Twitter. I can't even begin to imagine what that is like, because, and I don't want this to come across the wrong way, like, you're still only in your early 20s. Like, when you're 43, maybe you should deal with it. But I just think that all the years of driving and racing karts doesn't equip you for that side of it. So
no.
Where are you on that element these days?
I definitely, like, right now I'm definitely in the best position I've been in. Not just, like you said, as a racing driver, but just being a normal person away from the circuit. A bit of that has just come with making the mistakes and posting something I shouldn't have done, or saying something I should have done, and you get, again, the experience of learning about these kind of things, learning how media can pick up on something so small, or how, especially fans.
Would you share with us your biggest learning from that, where you thought, I didn't even mean that? I was like...
I mean, there's not been one big thing, but there's just been like comments, where I would have said something, and like it would have been probably about Lewis or Sebastian, one of the drivers I respect more than anyone.
You said something which obviously you didn't. Something about Lewis, wasn't it? About it means less or something if you win in that car or something. Do you know?
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. Well, it was Mercedes, right?
That's what it was. It was like, it's a great car kind of comment.
Yes, like you should expect him to win a race because he's in a Mercedes. But
then it gets twisted.
Probably the same thing everyone in the world's thought about, but just me saying it in an interview is what changes all of it.
So how do you still be yourself?
I That's the tricky thing, because like what I meant, I would never mean something to have bad intentions. Like that's just not the person I am. Unless I really hate someone. But I would never mean it, especially in an interview when I have nothing against the person, Lewis at this point, or Mercedes. Like, what's the reason? There's no gain for me to do so. There's no, like, that's just silly. So the fact people want to put it across that way, and if people believe that, then they obviously just don't know me very well, right? But the obvious one is just, I guess, got to be more careful with what I say here and there. But to like, once you kind of get through it a couple times, and you maybe say 2 or 3 things, people start to just kind of have like a bit more of a belief in you, in the things you say, rather than you just saying one comment which is just outrageous. And you just kind of, maybe the respect as well, you got to gain that little bit of respect by sometimes saying things that people don't agree with. Because then you lose those, say, fans, you lose those few people which are just like hate you for saying those kind of things. And I'm very happy to have people, not following me anymore if they kind of just want to believe everything that they see in social media and things like that. Because then they simply don't know who I am very well. So you just gotta, accept it a couple of times. Like you just got to go through those hard times, being told off by the team and things like that. But like you just kind of also realize that you have the right to say things that you want, and not everyone's going to agree with it. I never want people to think of me in a bad way, or think like we spoke about in the beginning, that I'm miles better than everyone and I should have more right to do things and say things than other people. Like that's far from what I would ever believe and want to lead to people to believe. So it's hard because I would always have it with the best intention, but just people understanding that is what's difficult. So just saying it like now, and people listening to this, and the more people will believe, like
exactly. I think even this is powerful, and I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago, the team or you wouldn't have necessarily wanted a conversation like this.
Yeah.
But you get comfortable in your
exactly,
and it's like you're here for a short time. You have to be you.
You get comfortable with people not liking it. Like that's something you just have to do. You have to get comfortable with people not liking what you say here and there, and just live with it. Like that's just a part of life. That's people. Different opinions, and
it means you stand for something. Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think before I was a little bit more in the middle. Where I would say these things, but I just didn't want people to have opinions on me. I just wanted to be nice and in the middle ground of everywhere. Whereas I guess now I feel like I can stand up for my own opinion a little bit more and say what I want a little bit more, and understand that people are going to be with me and some people are going to be against me. And I'm happy, but like I'm fine with that nowadays. Like that's just, I've understood that's life. That's always going to happen as long as people and humans are around. That's just the way we're made. And just got to deal with it, but that's all.
Wonderful. Right, Lando. Our quick fire questions.
Fire away.
The first one is the 3 non-negotiables that you and the people around you need to buy into. The 3 rules that you live your life by, really.
Enjoy life. Number 1 by mile. Enjoy life. Be kind. It'll help those people, make their day, make their week. If I take 1 minute out of my day to go and sign a picture for a kid or something, like sometimes it's not necessarily what you want to go and do, but you just made that kid's year sometimes, and it's just a cool feeling you get after it. So be kind, because you give to them and it'll give back to you eventually. Number 3. Those are the only 2 really. Number 3, learn when you've done a good job and be happy with that.
Yep.
And kind of then make work from there, rather than
be
just...
Be kind to yourself, right? Is what
be kind to yourself, yeah. Not only other people, but be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
So those 3 things are most important to me.
Hey guys, it's Jake here. Listen, before you go, please do me just one favour. Hit subscribe. It makes such a difference to us. The more subscribers we get, then the bigger the channel becomes. The bigger the channel becomes, the bigger the names we can attract and the more impact we can have for you. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe right now.